Dad,
What?
do you know what? I'd be mad.
Oh, don't start. Well, go on, what would it be?
Well, I was just admiring your t-shirt.
And who wouldn't?
And I thought
Isn't it
about
lovely?
how everyone on YouTube likes to rank studio albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're such a big fan of Yes.
I am indeed a big fan of Yes.
And you love a good challenge.
I do, yeah.
So why don't you try and rank the Yes studio albums?
Oh my god! Right, we're going to do it. We're finally going to do it. Finally going to rank the Yes studio albums. And this is a topic that we've kind of talked about, but never got around to because it seems so huge, right? Now there's a huge number of them, so I'll have to refer to a list, okay?
Yeah.
And the two of us sat down and I did a really quick ranking, didn't I? Just went dum 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 dum, and that's what we did. So we're going to we're going to kick off right away and see where this takes us. I'm not going to hang around, okay? I could get deeper on this Yes stuff, but I'm not going to. Okay, first of all, I'm not a completionist, okay? So there's 3 albums I don't have, okay? And they're going to be bottom of the pile, because the reason I didn't buy them is because I don't like them, okay? So the bottom of the pile, I think they've 23 albums, do they, or something? So number 23, bottom of the pile, is going to be Heaven and Earth, okay? Number 22 is going to be Open Your Eyes, and number 21 is going to be Talk, okay? So a lot of people kind of like bits of Talk, but to me, they'd done everything with the Trevor Rabin era up to that point, and there was no need for another album. And the same with Open Your Eyes, it was just one of these kind of amalgamation things, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was no need for it to happen. It was absolute waste of time. So, I'm going to go on from there. So, what am I at now? Number 21, is it?
Number 20.
Number 20 is Union. So, I hadn't listened to Yes for a while. My life had changed. I'd moved from Ireland to England and everything like that, and I was living there. And next thing I knew, Yes were back. They brought out this album and they were going to do a big tour. I was very excited. I went out and I bought the album, and I sat there thinking, when does this get good?
But you saw them on that tour.
I saw them on the tour and they were absolutely astounding. The tour was brilliant, fabulous. But the album was very bad, I'm afraid. Okay, so next, then, God, we're moving at some speed, Sarah. I can see this.
Look, no messing around here.
No messing. Next, then, number 19, The Quest. Oh, that's the back of it. There, it's the front of it. I remember this came out. I heard.
It's just when we're in the car, Dad, he has all these albums on an MP3 player that he plays in the car. And whenever the Ice Bridge comes on, he goes, oh, there it is. The song that led me into a false sense of security.
It did. It lulled me into a false sense of security. Heard the Ice Bridge and I thought, God, this must be a great album. Went out, bought it. This is the big kind of double album with 2 CDs with it and all sorts of things and everything. The Ice Bridge, and then that's it. And like Steve Howe sings on this, and anyone that thinks that's a good idea, really, I mean, somebody should put a gag on the man when he's in the studio. It's terrible. Not a great album. So that's 19, so what's next? Okay. So next, I'm going to go all the way back to their first album. Yes. I do like this album. This is now, I've gone from things like I wouldn't recommend to things that, I mean, check it out if you want. This is it's not really Yes,
It's
but
a
it's
humble
kind,
beginning.
yeah, it's kind of, there's a few pointers as where they would go on it, but it's pretty rough around the edges and kind of thrown together like a debut album would be. So yeah, don't be expecting like anything fantastic, but that's the next one. That's number 19, is it? 18. Or 18, number 17. Okay. Oh yeah. Jeez, will you ever learn these lessons, Sarah? So after The Quest, then there was a load of hype about Mirror to the Sky. What an album, this is great. This is kind of getting, they're really kind of getting back in touch with themselves again. Heard title track, yeah, that's grand and everything. Cut from the Stars, great. heard all these things, thought, yeah, this sounds really good. Got it, played it a few times, and then I just thought, hang on a minute, I've been had. It's not as good as it seems to be. I don't know how to put it. It just wore off me incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, yes, on the outside, but as you dug a little bit, like a pint of Guinness, nice creamy head on it that's nice and tasty, and then you get beneath it and it's dark and bitter underneath that. So, so that's kind of the whole of this album. It's
the best thing about it is the artwork.
The artwork is great. It's not unpleasant. It's not. Stop now, Tara.
You know me now with keyboards. I love keyboards, and I feel like they are just vital to a great prog album. And where was Jeff Downs?
Jeff Downs was. I think he was kind of asleep. Yeah, and I went to see them on the tour when they brought out the Quest, and they were doing Close to the Edge. And I mean, Jeff Downs, it was like he'd wake up from a stupor and play a few things on the stage. Even it was kind of like, Jesus. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, if anybody said, "Oh, should we go and see Yes now?" I'd say no. Should we buy the latest Yes album? It's your money. I won't be buying another one after this. I can tell you, this was the last straw, really. As I said, better than the Quest, but then like it wouldn't be hard, So that's that. So what do we get next? 16, number 16.
See, we wrote them down this time so we'd remember what number we're on.
Exactly, yeah, instead of me going all over the place. Number 16 is Big Generator. Kind of, not an unpleasant album again. It's an alright album. I have been known to put this thing on now and again when I'm working and things and I have it on in the background. I think it's okay, but no great shakes,
No.
It's okay, but there you go, Big Generator. That's one of the Trevor Rabin era ones. Okay, so then we follow that out with, let's see, we're going back to Trevor Rabin era with 90125. I remember when this came out, I was delighted that something came out with Yes on it. And I think we were all so used to this sort of look and feel of music and things that they kind of got away with it. Well, I mean, they did more than got away with it. It's a hugely successful album because it was easy to package them and sell them as something other than what they had been. But I met a friend of mine a while ago and he said, I remember, he said, I met you and you were down in McCarthy's pub and you were sitting at the bar going, they sold out. And he said, who? And you said, Yes, with 90125. So obviously it did have a bit of a bad impression on me at the time. But again, not an unpleasant album. I mean, Yes are Yes. And when they're together, and I don't count like what's out there now as Yes. I'm sorry. So if you're a big fan of them, that's grand, that's fine. Go off, enjoy them and spend your money on the albums, spend your money on the tickets. But I really think that the band kind of should have finished with Passing the Chris Squire. I think when Chris is playing there and everything is happening together, it has a certain sound that it no longer has. There's an energy missing out. That's what I feel. I think that's what I was really trying to get at with Mirror to the Sky too. I listened to it all. It's pleasant sound. It's grand, and it did quite nice composition. But there's something missing in it, and it's that energy. There's a kind of feeling that everyone else is kind of stepping back and leaving Steve Howe do what he likes with the album, basically. Which fine. I mean, it's not like a terrible album neither. But what can I say? Well, I'm gone off now about another album after talking about that, so I need to get away from that. So number 14 is going to be Fly From Here. So this is the return trip, but we went to see them with Benoit David. And they were great. Yeah. Great band. Again, really enjoyable. Loved it all. Great set. Did a lot of stuff from drama and a lot of stuff from what do you call it? Time in the World and that sort of thing. I thought it was really good. Really enjoyable set. So Fly From Here. I like the title track. I hate again, like Tara would say, I have like a DVD, not a DVD, an MP3 player in the car, and I have all this Yes going on it, and I hate the way that they kind of chaptered the title track for that, because I think as a kind of complete piece of music it sounds really good.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the kind of high point of the whole album, and they ruined it by doing that. So when I have it on the MP3 player, it just destroys the album. But now and again, I am known to put it on the CD and listen to it. And I quite like the title track. I think it's quite a good song for this. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one. What number is this one now, Tara?
13.
Number 13. Okay, so Tomato. So first Yes album I ever heard. Okay, so I probably have a little bit of a liking. I was going to say lightness for it. A bit of a liking for it because of that. I do think it's an okay album. But it's definitely the album, you know, we must do a video sometimes on the album that was like crashing into the wall. Because this is the one where they kind of crashed into the wall. It's where do we go from here? It's kind of, we've done everything we can in that kind of sphere of creativity. Let's go somewhere else, and had no direction. And I think that's the thing with it. So it's kind of little jammy things and bits all kind of stuck together. And does it work? Some of it does. Some of it sounds kind of weak, I suppose. So Tomato. Not a bad album though. Not a bad album. Okay. Next one, then number 15, is it?
Number 12.
Number 12! Oh my God. God, I'm jumping all over the place. Time in a Word. Okay, second album. Some nice tracks on this. I like some of the tracks on it. Some of the production kind of annoys me with some of the orchestration on it. But then again, it's not too bad. I've heard worse. But yeah, no opportunity necessary, no experience needed. Love it. You know, I have to say, when I did go to see them on that Quest tour, they played that and it was brilliant. It was great, yeah. And when we went to see them, they played Astral Traveller and a couple of other songs off this, and they're good. Like they were really kind of coming into their own, beginning to write songs well on this album. Yeah. But you know, I mean, the thing about it is, some of these albums are still good. But when you're comparing them to the top end,
exactly. Like,
you know, you're talking about like masterpiece. I mean, this is a good album, like you know. If it was by some other band, you'd be saying, "Oh God, you know, that's the best thing in their catalogue." But not with Yes. So the next one then is the Keys to Ascension 1. So remember when this came out, I went down to my local HMV, and I saw this on the shelf because this was, you know, we didn't all have our internets flying and YouTubes and all these things at the time. So you'd just go in and you'd be looking at the kind of where your favourite band's CDs would be to see with something after coming out. And, you know, there was none of these prog magazines or any of this stuff, you know. So you'd be watching maybe something to do with the music press, which would be full of all sorts of things, or you'd be watching like maybe in the newspaper, like they'd have a kind of music session. But yeah, anyway, that's going down. I'm reminiscing like the old gentleman that I am. Not so much of a gentleman as you. So I had a look at this and I thought, what a rip-off. Like more of this stuff all live, like Siberian Khatru, The Revealing Signs of God, Roundabout, Starship Trooper, and then I saw there was 2 studio tracks and I thought, oh jeez, I wonder what they are, some stuff out of some old recordings that they had. So I left it on the shelf, went away. Bought it years later, and I do like That Is. Okay, it's a great track. None of the live stuff, I don't think I even listened to any of the live stuff on it. But it's the 2 studio tracks, Be The One and That Is. That Is quite a good song. I like it. Yeah. Okay, so next.
Number 10.
Number 10. Oh my God, number 10 already. Jesus, I would imagine. It's The Ladder. So I went to see Yes, and it was kind of they'd brought out the 2 Keys to Ascension albums. Then they brought out Open Your Eyes. And then they went on tour with Igor Koroshev before they actually recorded The Ladder, I think. And I went to see them and they were brilliant. I thought Igor Koroshev was fabulous. He was, you know, just full of energy and playing the keyboards great. And I thought, finally. Because I love Rick Wakeman. I think he's brilliant. But he's problematic.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping, is there some way that these guys can find a guy that isn't as problematic as him? And I just thought they had with Igor Koroshev. How wrong I was. How wrong I was.
Even more problematic than Rick Wakeman.
Well, when you think they replaced Tony Kaye with Rick Wakeman because they were getting into all this yoga and all this sort of stuff, and Tony Kaye was still a kind of a wild living rock star sort of guy, and they said, oh, we can do without that sort of thing. That was one of the reasons. I know another one was that he wasn't into kind of experimenting with more keyboards. But that was one of the things. And that was the first reason I heard why they fired him, actually. So they got rid of Tony Kaye, and they said, oh, we'll get another guy in because he's too much, Tony Kaye is too much of a party animal. They got Rick Wakeman in. Jesus. And then after Wakeman walked off, like after Open Your Eyes came out, because like he thought, well, you know, that Keys to Ascension should have been a proper album and they should have followed it up and gone down that route. Next thing they bring out this bucket of bolts, like that's Open Your Eyes, and he walked away. And next thing, like, they get in Koroshev and I go, oh great, they're going to have another guy in. At least he won't be a big party animal like Wakeman. And what did we get? Party animal. So, but a good guy, and I kind of like the ladder. I kind of like this album. It sounds like Yes on Holidays. That's the way I've always described it. There's a kind of a beach sound to it and a kind of happy sound, and there's ethnic stuff and everything in there. And I think if they could have stuck together as a group at this time, I think they might have been on the way to something as well, but just didn't work out again, unfortunately. So what do we have next? So the next one is the Keys to Ascension 2, which I did buy when it came out. Okay, so this is number 9. So I finally bought this one when it came out because it had 5 studio tracks on it. So I thought, well, it's not all a complete rip-off. There's one disc is live, one disc is studio. So I said, I'll get this. And I put it on, and Mind Drive came on, and my mind was blown. I just thought, the guys are back.
Yeah.
They've got it again. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you take the classic era of Yes, and if there was some sort of uninterrupted line, here they've hit it, you know, and I just thought that was great. And it was after buying this that I went back out then and I bought Keys to Ascension 2. But yeah, very good album. Mind Drive, great track. The other stuff is okay too, the other songs on it's okay. So yeah, not a bad album. If they had Keys to Ascension 1 and 2 put together as a single CD, it would have been just an incredible album. Like, it would have been a really good album. Yeah. Okay, so then we go into number 8. So after the ladder and Igor Koroshev is gone, no keyboard player in there, so we do Magnification with the orchestra. I think this is a really strong album. I think it's kind of one that a lot of people tend to kind of ignore, and I really, I really like it. I put it on, and there isn't a bad moment on it that kind of really hits me, except for where's that song? Don't Take Love for Granted. What's that one? Yeah. Otherwise, it's a great album. I can't work out what the name of that thing is. Spirit of Survival. Don't Go. That's it. Don't Go. Only for that one. That's the one moment on this that is kind of almost unbearable. But the rest of the album is great. I love In the Presence Of. Love the title track. There's one that Steve Howe, or not Steve. No, Chris Squire sings on it. Sorry.
Big difference.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, from someone who should never be put in front of a microphone to somebody who should really, which is Can You Imagine? It's fantastic, beautiful.
Lovely.
It could have been on, Fish Out of Water. It fits in perfectly with that. Great album. Really enjoy it. Lovely album. Never kind of have a bad moment with it when I put it on.
The mad one. Number 7.
Number 7. Tales from Topographic Oceans. I think, they were running along, they had their idea where their progression and their progressive rock was going, and then this was when they kind of went over the line. I do think it's to be admired. I think it's ambitious. The playing on it is typical Yes playing. There's some of it that I really enjoy. I love Alan White's stuff on the Ancient. I like Ritual. I think is as good as any kind of epic that they've done. I find the remembering kind of drags a bit, and I would say the same for what's the name of the first track on it? Hang on, it's on Keys to Attention one. The Revealing Science of God. Yeah. And I remember when I first got this, look, I was so expectant that this was going to be the most fantastic album that I ever heard. You know, I was saying, God, imagine they did an album, an epic track on each side. Oh my God, I can't wait for it. And my father actually went to Dublin one day to get something. I can't remember where he was. And I said to him, I said, go into whatever record shop, was Freeport or something. I said, and pick me up a copy of Tales from Topographic Oceans. And he did. He was great like that. Down he came with it. Couldn't wait. Put it on the turntable and it just sat there, and it was kind of like, do you know that bit in The Simpsons where the chap at the Wiggins' heart breaks and they say, can you see the point at which his heart actually breaks? You know, the kind of expectant smile just slowly melted off my face as I listened to this thing. Because, I mean, the first two sides of it are a slog, you know, but yeah, it's a good album. I mean, fair play to them. It was one hell of a thing to go and do, like, and it's a unique album, you know. Okay, so the next one. We're flying now, Tara. We're going at some speed, aren't we? Yeah? Number 6, Fragile. Okay. Fragile, great album. You know, some of these are great. You know, I mean, even Tales from Topographic Oceans, even though I was slagging it a bit, it's still a great album. It's a great album, and I can see why some people absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You know, because it is great. It's great in its own way.
Sure, when we did the 9 Virtues of Prog,
it was the only one
that hit every single one of them was Topographic Oceans.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Too true, Tara. Very right, my dear. Fragile, absolutely great album. Love it. Roundabout. What else is on here? Oh
Siberian Patrol.
No, that's
it's not.
No, stop
Long
that. South Side of the Sky. That's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
South Side of the Sky, Heart of the Sunrise, Roundabout. Brilliant. Cans and Brahms kind of liked it at first when I heard it, then it just started to bore the hell out of me. We Have Heaven, John Anderson. I don't mind that actually. Don't mind that, and I love even the little joke of it, and the way that he uses the stereo panning on it is nice. South Side of the Sky, great. 5% for Nothing. You know, come on, Bill. You know, what are you doing? Long Distance Runaround, I hate. Now I know that some people love that song. I can't stick it. The Fish, brilliant, love it. Moved for a Day, quite like it, but again I'm beginning to get bored with it. But sure, I mean, if I've been listening to the album for about 40 something years, maybe that's bound to happen. Love Heart of the Sunrise, fantastic. So yeah, good album, very good album, and it's just some of those little moments that make it flag a little bit. Okay?
Now next is the one with Patrick Moraz naked on the front of it.
Oh, the one with Patrick Moraz naked on the front of it. Oh my God. Has anyone thought of the consequences?
That wasn't my idea, that was Andy Edwards who said it.
Yeah, Andy Edwards reckoned that that's Patrick Moraz naked, that it was the final humiliation for him before he left the band. No, it wasn't Patrick Moraz naked, it was a model that was paid by Hypnosis to do it.
We'll never know.
Very good album. A lot of people. What number is this one, Tara?
That's number 5.
Yeah, a lot of people regard this even as being Yes's fantastic album. What kills me with it, this is going for the one, by the way. Somebody said to us once, call out the names of the albums because I might be driving when I'm listening to this or something. So going for the one. What can I say? A lot of people say, you know, it's the best album they've ever done and that sort of thing. I hate the title track. I hate Steve Howe, you know, running a bloody slide up and down that guitar. It absolutely does my head in. It just, there's too much of it. You know, even if you just cut it back a bit, it would have been great. Love every other track on it.
Yeah.
You know, turn of the century, fantastic. Parallels, great. I actually had the single of Wonder Stories. Parallels was on the B side of it. It might actually be in the album. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
But yeah.
And
So
Awaken. Don't
and
forget.
yeah, well, I was going to get there, yeah, and then you have Awaken, which I remember the first time I heard that, I know your description the first time you heard of it.
I won't do it again.
I wonder what happened, what went wrong. But yeah, I can remember the first time I heard it, and I remember Boyley telling me the first time he called in here. He's a friend of mine, by the way, and he heard it, and he, we were doing. I think we were doing our junior cert or inter cert at the time.
Yeah.
And so we would have been about 15 or something like that. And he came down here at lunchtime and I put on side 2 of this and we listened to it and then we went back for the exam and he said he just walked up the road like that. Like the time I ran away, turned around, you were standing close to me, going through his mind. It's just, it's incredible. Yeah, it's a great album, You see, I mean, except for about the bottom, we'll say, up to about number 19 or 17, I'd say, buy all these albums. They're all good, So that's a great album. So where are we after that? Number 4. Oh my God. Now, a lot of people are going to kill me for having this high, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And it's Drama. Yeah, I mean, I bought this just after it came out, and I didn't know that Trevor Horn and Jeff Downes were out of the Bogles. I remember the Bogles and Video Killed the Radio Star, and I thought it was a good tune and everything like that. But I went out and I bought this. I didn't know they were the two guys out of it.
Yeah, fair.
And I thought it was just Yes, and they'd replaced John Anderson and Rick Wakeman with these two guys. I thought Jeff Downes is playing on this. Oh my God!
Unreal.
Oh my God!
Unreal.
Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the sound on it and the composition is fantastic. Machine Messiah, Into the Lens, Tempest Fuges. These are just great tracks. So it's a great format. The way it's kind of you've 2 tracks on either side, and then it's something small in the middle. So you got Machine Messiah, White Care, and Does It Really Happen? Now that's another thing. The last time I saw them live, I don't know what happened to Jeff Downes, but they did Does It Really Happen? And there's that pause
At the end.
And then he comes in, and then the whole band come in. He didn't leave the pause. He just went straight into it. I was absolutely disgusted with him. I want to have a word with that man. If you're watching, Jeff, I want a word with you. Why did you do that?
We love you, Jeff.
We love you, Jeff. But you ruined the song for me that night. And then side 2, Into the Lens, Run Through the Light, which I think is a lovely song as well, a fantastic song. And Tempest Fugit to finish it off. At the time we saw them, they did Tempest Fugit live, which is fantastic. So yeah, Drama number 4, and I just think it's a really strong album. I mean, there isn't a song that I've mentioned on there that would kind of make you stop and go, ooh, what's that? No, just pure quality. I wish they would have stayed like that for the 80s. I wish they'd have done a couple of albums at that time.
And we get to hear Chris Squire singing on that as well, which is always a big plus.
And the bass playing on it is just incredible. I mean,
I can't.
Yeah, it's like Chris Squire and Alan White's drum sound. Really, he's got these big diameter tom-toms you can hear, they're real kind of fashionable during the 80s, and he's kind of, they're poised for this 80s sound with it. And God, why did they fall apart like that? I'd have loved it if they'd have done at least one more album. Okay, number 3, Dave. Number 3. I know I have to get on with this, I'll be here all night. Is the Yes album. Love this album. I bought this around about the same time as Drama, and I think they're kind of like twin albums, like the kind of format of them, So, I mean, this is the same. You've got kind of 2 big songs and a small song on each side of it, So, we start off with Yours Is No Disgrace. I never get bored of listening to that. I love that song. And I put on this album and it's beautiful. And, you know, I've heard people say, oh yeah, put it on it. You know, there's kind of a bit of stereo panning and this sort of stuff and it's gimmicky. I love all of that. It makes it feel three-dimensional, like when you're listening to it. The clap, I'm kind of bored with now, I have to say. But it's good. Or clap, I think it should have been called, yes. Starship Trooper, absolutely incredible. Incredible piece of music, fantastic. I've seen all good people, bit kind of jaded with that as well, but I could listen to Adventure. No, I can't stick that.
I like that one.
That's another one. Like, what was the one off?
Long distance.
Long distance runner.
Yeah.
That's exactly like that to me. It's just one of those throwaway things. I mean, I say when I don't like it, I don't mean like I'd get up and tear it off the stereo. You know, I just kind of, oh, right, there's that one. And then I just leave it go on and perpetual change comes in, which is just
so good.
dynamite. Like, the depth of sound. I mean, the sound on this thing is just incredible. Like, brilliant. Love it. Okay, so number 2. Now, number 2 and number 1 could be interchangeable, depending on my mood. Okay, so you'll see what mood I'm in at the moment. If I'm in a bad mood, this is number 1. If I'm angry and fed up with things.
So my mood 24/7.
Is that? Yes,
so that's my number 1.
This was the first Yes album I bought, actually. You know, so it's fantastic. I love it. Not a second wasted on this album. Everything is just fantastic. You know, the Gates of Delirium when they're going through. You know, just the whole thing, storytelling through music. It's just incredible. The sounds, the emotions that it brings up, the kind of anger at the way the world is, and unfortunately it's still so pertinent today. It's just so pertinent. It's absolutely terrible, but beautiful piece of music. And I don't mean just the kind of soon bit at the end being beautiful. The whole lot of it is beautiful. It's beauty in its chaotic structure and everything. It's fantastic. Yeah. Patrick Moraz brings things up to another level on this album too. His keyboard playing is nuts, and it's just what they needed at this point in the band. Fantastic. Love it. Side 2, Sound Chaser. My God, like, what a piece of music. You know, Steve Howe's guitar playing, where he's playing the Telecaster, I believe, with humbucker stuck in it. Just incredible sound, like, you know, it's hard and kind of, you know, driven. And then To Be Over at the end of To Be Over is just like, it's just, you know, I mean, how can I put it? You can't even
Time
find
will
words.
heal your fears.
Da, 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 da. You know, and the way, oh my God, it just explodes. It's just absolutely amazing. And I love this one so much that I've got 3 copies of it here. And you've got 2, have you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so we've 5 copies close
They
to
just
the edge.
kind of fell into our lap.
What can you say about close to the edge? I'm wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah.
So, absolutely just an amazing album. The structure, they've just nailed the structure. They've nailed everything that they can do on this album. Bill Bruford was right when he said that was it. You know, and he just said, I just moved on after it because I knew that they'd hit the perfection for what this band could do. And I think they did it, and I have to say on Relayer they kind of returned to the same format and the same way of writing and the same layout of the songs on the album and everything like that, because that suited them perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this is just an amazing album.
I can see that in the future being in museums and art galleries and everything as one of the greatest albums to have ever been created.
Yes, it's just something else.
It's just incredible, like.
Yeah. So it's spiritual, it's uplifting, it's technically wonderful. Composition on it is just fantastic. But having said that, I could say that about, I suppose, the top 10 of these albums. You know, when I say they found the format perfectly, which was like the big epic on one side and then 2 tracks on the other. So this worked really well here, worked really well on Relayer. But they also had another format which was like the kind of two big tracks with something short in the middle,
Yeah.
which worked really well on the Yes album and Drama as well. So there was other formats and other little things that they could keep exploring and messing around with, etc., etc. But yeah, I mean that's it. So
we'll do a brief little. We'll go back through them now. Just number
Okay.
1, Close to the Edge. Number 2, Relayer. Number 3, the Yes album. Number 4, Drama. Number 5, Going for the One. Number 6, Fragile. Number 7, Tales from Topographic Oceans. Number 8, Magnification. Number 9, Keys to Ascension 2. Number 10, The Ladder. Number 11, Keys to Ascension 1. Number 12, Time and a Word. Number 13, Tormato. Number 14, Fly From Here. Number 15, 90125. Number 16, Big Generator. Number 17, Mirror to the Sky. Number 18, their first album, Yes. Number 19, The Quest. Number 20, Union. Number 21, Talk. Number 22, Open Your Eyes. And number 23, Heaven and Earth. So there is the ranking.
and it could be different on another day.
Yeah.
As I said, we did this in literally 5 to 10 minutes last night. Okay?
Yeah.
So it was really quick. Dum 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 dum. This is the way I do it because I didn't want to overthink it. But let us know your rankings and what you feel in the comments. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We need to keep that subscriber count coming up. It all helps us, and it helps us to kind of stay motivated to keep doing this thing. It's the one driver, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
we got another few subscribers. Oh, let's make another video.
Yeah,
So it kind of keeps us going, you know.
motivates us, yeah.
So yeah, we love you and leave you, and yes.
If you want to hear us and to hear some Yes on Wednesday,
Among other things.
the 22nd of May, it's 12 o'clock Eastern Time and then 5 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time over here. Check out progradio.com, and if you can't listen to it live, you can go back into the website or the app, go into the shows, and you can listen to it whenever you have time. We hope you enjoy it.
So that's our radio show, Generations of Prog. So it'll be the two of us talking like we normally do. Well, not like we normally do, because we'll be playing some music.
You can actually hear what we're talking about,
Exactly.
the music, which is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were thinking. You know, it would be great to be able to play some of the songs that we're talking about. And thanks to Prog Radio, we've the opportunity to do that. But in the meantime, please engage with us here. Please subscribe to us. Join us on the journey, because it's an ongoing journey and we're continuously going to be making these videos. We're kind of stepping up the amount of videos that we're going to put out from now on for a while, because Tara's finished her exams and everything in college. And so I hope we'll see you all next time. I hope you'll subscribe to us and you'll stay with us on this journey. Feel free to leave your views in the comments, and see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.